Hey everybody, the name's Rigged Up, and today we are doing something a little different. The Japanese League of Legend League just started this past weekend, and there aren't any English casts, so I figured why not as well give it a shot, try and do as many as I can. I don't know if I can do all of them because that's 8 games, and I have a day job that I have to get to with all the other things I'm working on. It's sometimes tough to do that, but I'll try to just do a couple of games here and there, maybe see if I can get a flow and see what happens. The bigger part of this is that the Japanese league doesn't get a lot of coverage. It's not the most popular thing in other countries. I mean, you've got Korea and China to look at, which, as far as like the eastern side of the world goes, those are the bigger leagues to look at, and the Japanese league is kind of getting shoved to the background. It doesn't get a lot of attention. And I want to sort of bring those storylines forward. And I mean, I was looking over like the different wikis and stuff of all these players, and there's really not a lot going on. And maybe we can sort of develop it together, sort of figure out where these players are. I know at Worlds previously, like the only time that Japan's really been seen on the international stage was at Worlds. Detonation Focus Me, they kind of got ousted pretty quickly earlier on in the tournament. But want to just try and see what's going on here. But so I'm gonna hit play, so I stop rambling and I get rolling right into it. We got Pick Band coming out of the gate. Got Sengoku Gaming versus Axiz. That is how I heard them pronounce it earlier on with all the introduction stuff. Axiz. Hopefully that is correct, or if I did not mishear it terribly, I'm totally willing to admit that I'm probably gonna be butchering a lot of these names. Just gonna think that's please excuse me on that, because hey, there's not many people telling me how to pronounce them correctly. But the fact that Sengoku Gaming is sponsored by Coca-Cola might be one of the coolest things I've seen so far, because I don't think anybody's got that band. Oh, let me get myself out of the way of Pick Band so we can actually see it. A lot of the typical characters getting banned out here, probably, I mean, the 6 champions banned here are probably the highest ban rate champions right now. Minus the Sejuani, that one is a bit of a in flux, but the Aatrox, Lucian, Cassiopeia, Aurelia, Galio, those just bans everywhere. And Urgot occasionally up there, but he keeps sliding through. Rakan, he's the other guy that keeps getting banned instead of Sejuani. Actually, a little surprised to see the Rakan go through just because of the massive popularity going on with that. I'm going to have to see how Sengoku Gaming is going to answer that. And do they want to secure... Oh, they're actually going to secure potentially a jungler. And if it's Nunu, that would be the coolest thing. Not going to do that. Not very comfortable with that. Pulling out Kha'Zix, which I have not seen have a lot of success. I've been seeing far greater success with the Gragas in the jungle pool right now. As it is the start of the year, I think some people are still confident on their Kha'Zix play in that solo queue setting. Getting out of there, it might propel them to do better, have that carry factor coming from the jungle, which a lot of junglers do in solo queue. They want to carry and play Kha'Zix right now. He's strong and rocking it and stuff, so be a-okay. And so Goku actually opting for Caitlyn and Morgana, a very, very safe bottom lane. I suppose the Morgana could be flexed towards mid lane, because I don't know what these guys' champions pool are. Again, don't have a lot of information based on all these players and the history that they have. But Axiz replying to that very safe bottom lane with getting Ezreal. Rakan will be able to jump around. The Morgana, I think, is a pretty decent pick into the Rakan, actually. You can Black Shield the engage. You'll only be able to save one target, so there's going to be a little bit of mind games going on there to see what happens. So mid lane and jungle pool getting pinched out a little bit. It looks like, I imagine we might see a Gragas ban here try and put SG Smile farther down on the champion pool of available junglers. Oh, Lee Sin, very aggressive. So I would like to see a Gragas picked up by Sengoku Gaming here. Add to their engage, because although they have ways to pick you out with maybe the Urgot ultimate, and Morgana binding, there's not a lot you can. Very protection based composition right now can slow and run you down, and Axe is getting a nice damage spread kind of team right here. You have Rakan engage and Lysandre to follow up on, so very easy for Sengoku to Axiz to get onto Sengoku Gaming. And looking at that Gragas pick right now, potentially coming through to give them something so that they can displace all of Axiz jumping towards onto them. And the Gragas really rounds this team out nicely because Caitlyn can lay some traps down, a binding from Q, slow down a target, the Black Shield, of course, always nice to have, and a good stun. So prevent a lot of that engage from Axiz. So you have a lot of like barriers to entry. Got a Gragas Bear ulti, throw people around. Got the Syndra stun to knock some people back. Maybe Lissandra pops up in front of you. You can stun her really quick depending on the timing. It's going to be difficult to beat out that frozen tomb, but hey, you never know. If you got the fast enough flying fingers, maybe you can beat that timing here. And Kennen as an answer, interestingly enough, that would expect to go into the top lane. We haven't seen that traded around yet, waiting for that to go in through the timer. Try and beat up, maybe bully Urgot a little bit. It's likely why Akali was banned earlier on, maybe not so much in the mid lane, but as an answer to the Urgot top, we have seen Akali beating up Urgot quite a bit, able to dodge out the shotgun knees and play around with that smoke. Easy to keep getting onto Urgot and damage him up. I could try babbling on and pretending like I know exactly how that matchup works, but I do see Akali beating up Urgots quite often here. I do need to do some more research on that and figure out why exactly that matchup is the way that it is. But I think Kennen can do rather favorably well into the Urgot, has the range, can sort of just keep auto attacking him, beating him up a bit. Urgot, not a ton of range on his side. Kennen can really dish that out and add to that engage combination there. Like, I think that Sengoku can do so much to stop here. And actually, you may have seen a familiar face on the coaching staff there. I'll get to that there in a moment. Before I want to finish out that explanation, that while Sengoku can maybe stop some of the advances of Axiz, the Axiz has got a few more terms of engagement through the Kennen, Lissandra, Rakan. Is like, how many things can you stop all of those things from going through? It's possible, but we'll talk about those team comps later. But I want to talk about the guy that was on the stage just a moment ago. That was actually Maple Street. Maybe you saw that during Pick Ban, it was at the top for coaches. But for those of you unfamiliar, Maple Street is actually brother to the Odd One. He actually played also on the Renegades back in the NALCS when they were a team. Played AD carry in Odd One, of course. First time jungler for TSM way back in the day. So, in a Canadian, actually, I'm sorry, from North America, coach of a Japanese league team. So that's actually really cool. I think actually super exciting for the league because, again, not a lot of popularity over there, but we're seeing some cross play coming in from other regions. Sure, there have been plenty of Koreans coming in and sort of grabbing spots. A lot of those Korean players don't have a lot, not gain a lot of history. They're almost treating it like a challenger league, trying to get some reps in, trying to probably get themselves to the next level, try to get to the Korean main stage because everybody wants to be on LCK, the LPL, the LMS, arguably. Less so on that, but I want those bigger leagues. But with that talent coming into the LJL, that should help them all gain some more experience, sort of increase maybe the local talent, try and drive everyone forward. We kind of saw this similarly. I think it was back in 2015. It was the Korean mass exodus when Korea, SKT Telecom, they won the league. Or no, I'm sorry, it was Samsung White winning the league. Legends Championship. So maybe it was 24. I'm getting all the times. But anyways, when Samsung White won the championship, a lot of Korean teams sort of diffused out and went out to other regions, went to other places. Didn't necessarily do that fabulously well. Historically, we remember LGD, we had Imp on there, and it's like everyone thought, oh my gosh, LGD is going to come in and smack everybody, and they completely fell apart. And so that Korean exodus didn't really work out, and eventually all the Korean players started coming back. We still got, Korean players across the league going to different regions now as they've all improved. But this feels a little similar to that, as the Japanese league not very relevant right now. NA wasn't very relevant at the time, but got better with that talent coming in, forced the local talent to get better. I think that increased popularity really sort of inoculated everyone and increased their their talents, their try-hardness, if you will, as I find lack of a better term and continue to babble on. But with all that history, so far that the LJL has, I'm interested in creating that history with everyone, sort of finding what these players are doing, how they develop and continue on. And beside me, I see that for Sengoku Gaming, we've got Rhea from Japan, Smile from Korea, Taka from Japan, Odugi from Japan, and Reina from Korea. I'm sorry, Odugi from Korea. Oh, and actually, before I continue to babble on about teams, we got our first game coming in. Kazakh's going in, forcing the flash from Reina. Nothing going just yet. Gragas coming in on the side to maybe catch out Kazakhs, but nothing more. So we got our first flash and a heal from Odugi as Smile works his way on into the lane and try and creep his way. He's going to get cut out by the ward, so nice ward from Axiz. They should have actually caught that ward. Looks like it had damage on it before. May have not put the timer on there. A little bit of action there, and I think they forgot. So nothing else going on for now. That first gank, pretty successful, was able to get the flash on Morgana, and might be worthwhile to come back and visit again. Force out a black shield, try and get that engage onto either the AD carry or Morgana. Force out the black shield ideally onto Caitlyn and then go for the Morgana. Interesting to see how that plays out, but a pretty standard start from everybody so far. Nothing too crazy special going on. This is the first game of the season. I don't expect anyone to be going full gear here or anything. Just trying to play it slow, play it smart, pick up those wins earlier on in the season, try and make your presence known in the league and not show your hand too early on. But anyways, talking about the players, where they're all coming from. On the other side, actually all of these players on Sengoku, Axiz, I'm sorry, are all from Japan. So this is that's the actually only full Japanese roster in the league right now. A lot of Korean players coming in that I am not familiar with at all. Again, I think they're just treating this sort of like as a way to gain that experience, try and get into the other league, which sort of shows how LJL is a little bit behind on everything as far as the experience it goes. But I do think it's just going to get better and better for them. Ooh, and Khan getting very low there. Nice binding trap combination. Morgana, Caitlyn, very obnoxious combination to deal with. As Caitlyn can continue just outrange a melee champion like Rakan, able to bully him out just a little bit. Luckily, they do have Ezreal on their side, so can just keep throwing out Qs. Just try and get that tier. Try and stay safe. Wait until they're level 6. Once Rakan does hit level 6, I think that'll put the advantage into the Ezreal Rakan lane, especially with the Kazakhs, because that Black Shield only going to cover one person, and then you can sort of funnel all your damage onto one target alongside the Kazakhs and take them out. Ooh, whoa, what in the world? I just spilt coffee all over myself. Isn't that nice? And we see here Kennen bullying the Urgot just a bit, as we expected. So seems to be working out so far. We have a slight CS advantage in favor of Kennen. They'll probably equalize here shortly. Haven't seen Smile do much, just very standard pathing. But we do have Kazakhs moving up. Kennen going in, ulting immediately. Flash still available to Urgot, but it doesn't look like he is going to even use it to try. He knew that his fate was sealed in that situation. Nice play from Union and Ison. Very clean play. Hit the ultimate. Kazakh snuck his way into the jungle. That first blood going over to Kennen. Now he's got even more of a CS advantage. Right onto the control ward. Rhea up way too far forward. You see even that vision control on the top side of Sengoku's jungle. Axiz has a lot of vision control there. Doing a really good job. They have that completely figured out. They're gonna know where Smile is at all times. And goodbye Axiz for making the play, setting themselves up, while Sengoku, there is no vision out on the field right now. There's one ward right behind Lysandra, but other than that, the map belongs to Axiz. Gonna really need Sengoku to step this up here. and want to see Smile be a little proactive. We've seen Kha'Zix go for these early ganks already so far. He's still not even level 6. Looks like he's been denied some farm as he's just a little bit too far behind. As he hits level 6 here in a moment, ideally we start seeing something go on in their favor. The only thing that seems to be really going the way of Sengoku is this bottom lane that continues to just poke out Axiz, and they do have quite a bit of time now to force their way onto that turret and continue to chip it away, get the advantages they can from the turret plating. But now Kha'Zix is focused down bottom lane, and Rakan should be hitting 6 here relatively soon. I think Aisen is going to try and sneak his way onto the backside, but can Smile read this? The jungler is on the bottom side. Not going to be going for a gank, instead going to go for the dragon. Gragas might be trying to sneak his way into the pit. And Axiz doing a good job of sort of protecting the Kha'Zix, making sure that cannot go ahead and check that dragon pit, give that control over. Sure, no funny business is going on. And Smile just sitting on top of a ward. Axiz are just going to play this really intelligently. Goodbye, Noah. We're playing a little bit far forward, keep the attention of Smile, sort of waste his time, make him continue to make these inefficient moves. Again, we see a lot of vision control on the side from Axiz around that dragon pit. Smile is going to be able to clear this vision out, but not going to be able to get much out of it. I mean, other than a couple of bucks from the money. And Ison is a clear level ahead. Smile is not going to take the risk of getting that control ward. Does not want to deal with that. Oh, we see the engage going in. Flash already down from Reyna. Kha'Zix going in really hard, taking him down. Reyna to half health. We're seeing Reyna get very low. And and a nice Q from Noah, actually able to finish off. I thought Reyna was going to be able to get out of there. We have Cinder coming in yet. Frozen Tomb dropped onto Lissandra. A lot of damage going out into Yeru, though. Cinder picking up the kill onto Lissandra. Sandra trying to follow up more, so Taka coming in for as the hero here, picking up a kill against Lissandra. Gareru really not doing too much. I don't know if that was a misclick on the Frozen Tomb there. It felt a little unnecessary. It maybe been better to just go onto Syndra instead, because he just sort of set himself up to die. So let's see here. See, Kha'Zix gets seen. A nice flash from Caitlyn there. A lot of damage coming out from Reyna. Trap to slow down Kha'Zix, and a nice Q by Noah. Beautiful stuff. Guerrero just throws out a Q, gets stunned up. I don't know what the intent of that ultimate was. It felt a little sloppy. Maybe just a misclick on Frozen Tombing himself. He did have access to flash, so could have gotten to safety. Would have been better spent. It was like a 4v3 situation, but I think Gariaru sort of flubbed it there. Gariaru. That is what the pronunciation that I think I'm going to go with for now until I hear it said otherwise. And I'm going to continue to probably butcher it over and over again. Gariaru. He was previously known as Fate. Isn't that nice? And we see Kha'Zix going really hard again onto Smile and gonna blow Smile up. And Smile having a real tough time this game. It might be the first Kha'Zix that I've seen successfully blow some targets up and used effectively in the early game. It could just be that Smile is really behind the pacing on what he should be doing. It feels like he's just been kind of going through the motions of jungling rather than making proactive plays. Really not doing much here. As right now we got about a 1k gold lead from Axiz. I'm gonna assume that this is just gonna continue to grow unless Smile can make something happen. Instead he's just gonna wander through lane, try and get some vision control. Maybe we got a Mountain Drake in a minute 30. Much better prize than a Cloud Drake that I'm sure both teams want, but Axiz is going to catch both the jungler and mid laner out. Be able to continue to keep Smile sort of in line here. Sengoku, again, the best thing they got going for them is this bottom lane that they have control simply based on the champions, and I don't think that's going to last, though, forever as this Ezreal continues to scale. It's going to be quite a while still before he can get his tier figured out and completed, but it is still a kill advantage in favor of Ezreal. They are down about 10 CS. And we see quite a few members of Axiz shifting down towards the bottom side. Oriaru gonna get caught out by that ward going down. They know that bottom lane is missing from Sengoku and just gonna call that off and make sure that he picks up that minion wave in the mid lane so that he does not continue to fall behind Taka. So the laning phase does seem to be going well for Sengoku. They're just not really capitalizing on the map. Maybe if we get to some team fight phases, they'll fare better. Eason doing his best to track this Gragas and make Smile's life miserable. His Smile at least does seem to have a sense. We see the ultimate coming out from Eason, not able to get out. A lot of damage there. And now Sengoku going to try and maybe catch anybody out. Just barely misses the Q there. He'll make his way out of the jungle before the rest of members of Sengoku can collapse on this situation. Mountain Drake, though, started immediately. Are we going to see our first fight here with Sengoku? They do see the dragon getting taken. While working his way over the pit. He does not have flash right now, so that would not be a safe takeaway. Instead, Axiz are going to secure the dragon for themselves, just taking it right under the nose of Sengoku. Sengoku, I think they could have been a bit more proactive at that. Maybe pulled Cinder down. She did have the push advantage, would have forced Oriaru to sort of deal with that minion wave for a moment. We follow that up, but a second dragon going over to Axiz. That Mountain Drake will help them going on as turret plating is dropping here shortly. I don't think it's dropped just... Oh, no, it has dropped. And no more of that chip damage will go over to Sengoku, thankfully, on the bottom side of the map here. I think team fights are going to be very pivotal for Sengoku to get back into this game. The bottom lane really does seem to be just bullying around. Noah and Thinton bit in lane. But Sengoku just not able to find their way towards the bottom line. Like, gotta really credit Axiz for the amount of vision that they're getting down in this game. Playing very smart. You usually don't see this kind of ward control so early on in the season. If they were to keep this up, it would look very, very good going into the later parts of the season. Another thing I have to credit Axiz, though, for is their logo choice, because the fact that they have a narwhal is absolutely phenomenal. I don't think any other team has that good of a logo compared to them. Maybe their regular logo isn't that great, but in that pick band selection, where it was just like that pure orange color, that was real classy. Looking quite good. And I'm finally opening up me on recording, and I'm gonna cover myself as we see Kennen going in onto Urgot. Kennen actually getting very low. Urgot not able to take it down with the Fear Beyond Death. The chain not going to ramp that kill up, but got Kennen very, very low. So the strength of Urgot getting shown there. Target's getting beat up, and Eason, although seen to be taking the Rift Herald, was not afraid. Saw Urgot, though, shifting down, knew that he was not going to get much support as the wave was pushing on mid, and Kennen was pushed into the turret top side. Not going to be able to provide much support with that. We do see a ping going on to Rift Herald. So are Sengoku going to take this? Nope, looks like Smile's just going to be basing for now. And we see all that vision control top side. Eason might be jumping onto Syndra here. Taka not falling for the bait. Oh, going to be walking directly into it. We see Lissandra already here coming in. A lot of damage going in onto Taka. Oriaru, if he had just been there a moment earlier with the claw forward flash, would be able to Frozen Tomb, and that would have been an easy kill onto Taka, but Taka just barely able to flash to safety. Ooh, and not going to be seen, I don't think. There's no pings going out to, so the timing going in favor of Eason, just barely able to get that. But now might be a pinch onto Rhea. Instead, we see Kha'Zix moving on. Kennen does not have ultimate right now, so that is going to be a canceled Rift Herald. Whoa, a lot of damage going on to Rakan, and Reyna ODG have complete control bottom side. Might be able to get themselves this bottom lane turret with another wave here. Eason, though, gonna be picking up Riptailed for himself. First turret blood gonna be going over likely to Sengoku from the efforts of Caitlyn and Morgana here. But Axiz will have a turret locked in for themselves here shortly. So let's go ahead and see how this plays out. I imagine it's going to be a bind onto Finton coming out. See Reyna moving up. A nice Q bind followed by the trap. Just easy follow-up damage from the Caitlyn. Just easy combos right there. Blowing it up Rakan oh so easily. We have Rift Herald taking a turret already, so it's turret to turret. I'm not sure if Rift Herald's going to get another shot out onto that bottom lane turret. Taka trying to safely take the blue buff for himself, but that is going to waddle on back to the turret. I suppose you've prevented Axiz from taking the blue buff. This is the good part of this, because, yep, so they don't know that he doesn't have the blue buff yet. Now they'll have sight on him in mid lane, so. But nice. It wasn't able to get the blue buff, but good on Taka for grabbing that and preventing Axiz from picking that up themselves. Good stuff. So now that the first turrets have fallen, let's see how these teams adapt and shift their players around. Like to see the Caitlyn Morgana maybe go top or mid to try and just force down another turret here. Put themselves around. No, they wouldn't go top. Maybe mid to try and force that turret down. They want the protection of the turret, but for now it looks like they're just going to be funneling more farm into the Caitlyn. Try and keep ahead of the Ezreal. We have another dragon up right now. It looks like we might have our first fight here. As everybody's fighting for that. Ooh, and Gragas actually picking up with a barrel. Should have respected the Gragas barrel, actually. We have Kennen shifting on bottom side. Urgot does have teleport right now. It's like members are going to be pinching. Finton trying to find a way to get in on this. Taka not going to be able to find the stun just yet. We see Lissandra moving forward, trying to find a target. Nobody getting close enough for a frozen tomb. And Ray actually going to get some damage onto the top side. As we see Axiz pulling the trigger for the Mountain Drake. We see the members of Sengoku making a play towards mid. I don't think they're going to be able to get much here and going to be forced off of that turret almost immediately. And so that's a double Mountain Drake over to Axiz. And that's going to help them. I mean, that's another turret that Sengoku pick up topside, but double Mountain Drake once Baron spawns, and it did just a moment ago. The first chance that they get time on the Baron for free, they're probably going to go for it. They don't have a lot of great, I mean, Kha'Zix will be able to help with a lot of damage there, but double Mountain Drake's going to make it so much easier. They don't have anything like a Cassiopeia or a auto attack based AD carry, but they're going to be plenty fine. Looks like the misaligned timings though of Axiz is going to hand over the third turret to Sengoku. But again, the threat of two Mountain Drakes is really high. Going to be another Mountain Drake, so if Sengoku do not prevent that from going away, that's going to be miserable. Oh, there's that actually just a... Did they just not take that down previously, that graphic before? And now the vision fight starts out, but Reyna might be falling to Kha'Zix here. We see Hootie G. Oh, gonna blow up Morgana though before he even jumps away. I thought he was gonna be running for the hills. Instead, he dives onto Morgana, is able to get the reset on the jump and get out of there. ODG was trying to come in and help out as support, but gets blown up instead. And this Kha'Zix is a massive threat to the likes of Sengoku. Able to take out about any target that he likes. Right now being the Syndra, Caitlyn, or the Morgana, most likely. It looks like now Axiz are the ones with vision control onto Baron Pit. Now there's a few more wards floating around, actually, but the kill threat, I think, does belong to Axiz in this game right now. Sengoku not willing to take the fight just yet. But I suppose the way to think about it is that because Axiz have so many ways to get in, then Goku would just prefer to mitigate the fight and sort of like act on the back end of it, respond to anything that Axiz throws at them, which It's a fine strategy. I'm just typically not a fan of it. It really slows the pacing of the game down. And sure, you do have stronger champions in that regard, like the Syndra and Caitlyn, that do scale well later into the game, that can blow up targets pretty easily. Nice team fights. Ooh, and Inton getting bind, but jump back to the Ezreal. Thought he was going to get blown up, comboed down quite easily. A stun going down on the Kazakhs, getting very low. We see the ultimate coming out. Greg is going to finish it off with an ultimate. Gariaru trying to make a run out of it. We see a TP on the backside from Urgot. Now they're going to be trying to pinch on the Lysandre. Can Gariaru mind game this? Is he just going to base? He's going to get caught out by the ward and actually going to walk right into the rest of the Sengoku. Feels like a mistake. We see Frozen Tomb, not quite used yet. Gariaru, though, out of mana. Gariaru used the ultimate earlier. ODG is going to be able to take this target out very easily. Urgot going to finish that up. And Gariaru sort of out-mind gamed himself there, it seemed, rather than making his way out nice and safe. He walked right back into the enemy. I mean, maybe he wasn't going to make it out anyways, but I thought there would have been a chance if he could just continued basing there. I think he would have pulled it off. So not Mountain Drake next. It's a Infernal Drake. That graphic did not get updated last time. The Infernal Drake, though, I want to see Sengoku fight for this thing. They've got Caitlyn with some nice damage. They got the Storm Razor. And, geez Louise, the item name is driving me insane. Why cannot? Rapid Fire Cannon. Geez Louise. Out on Caitlyn, got a BF Sword coming in as well. So Caitlyn ramping up pretty hard. A third item is going to really do a lot of work here. I don't think she's going to have it in time for the pit. But we see, looks like Union is going to be on the run. We see a flash forward from the Urgot. He's trying to get a lot of damage out. We got Reyna, though, nearly falling on the backside. Urgot going to pick up the cannon, not getting anything else out of that. It looks like just a member apiece on either side. Reyna down and the top laner gone. I think this would be next fight would be in favor of Sengoku if they want to go for it, because they just have the support missing, and without the engage and stun potential from the Kennen, I feel like the power is in favor of Sengoku. Neon does have teleport, but it looks like Sengoku are actually going to be able to finally force their way into the Dragon Pit and make a play on their own here. Bringing out the top laner. Isen looks like he does want to still get this dragon. He doesn't want to make a play yet. He's just going to let it fall over. They did not have any vision control there anyways. But with that going on, Axiz are at least going to get their third turret and equalize the game considerably. It looks like gold is about just the same. And Sengoku picking up their own dragon for themselves. So I've been talking a lot about what Sengoku want to do, but Axiz, where are they going to end up in this game? They've been doing a good job. Isen, a lot of carry potential there. He is 3-1, very scary right now, picking up targets here and there, but not really big team fight yet out of this combination. I want to see an emphasis. Isen just trying to be cute now. I feel like this is maybe a bit of a waste of time, and they could be shifting around topside, getting vision. I think they just need to be focusing on getting vision around the Baron Pit. They've got, again, those two Barons. Maybe they're just waiting for Ezreal to continue to scale, but they're not even getting a second tier. That looks like he's just opting for a Blade of the Rune King. And by waiting to scale, that sort of puts it in the favor of Sengoku, I feel, with the Caitlyn and the Syndra. I do want them to get more vision around that Baron Pit, pick up a target or two. Can do that with the Frozen Tomb very easily. Engagement from Rakan. There's only one Black Shield to save a couple of targets. A lot of teamfight power that sure Sengoku can mitigate in certain ways, but you got to try and at least get one or two targets here. You got to make your way, because if you continue to wait before making another proactive play, which they've seemed to be doing on their own, or at least Isen has, you're going to hand the game over to Sengoku just with scaling. And maybe that's the thing. Maybe Axiz is just extremely dependent on Isen just getting the advantages, but doesn't know how to spread it out through the team. And the vision control in Baron Pit has primarily belonged to Sengoku so far. And we're still not seeing much. I mean, we do see Axiz shifting around the Baron Pit. Now can Taka get caught out? They're just trying to clear out vision. We see Binding Trap land onto Kazakhs, nothing going on. Rhea trying to do what he can. The ultimate thrown out. Union on the run, waiting for that to time out. Does get out of there. Rhea beating up Union quite a bit, and actually probably likely going to be taking this Kennen out. And Kennen, what are you doing? You got ways to escape from the Urgot, I would assume. And now control of the game is over to Sengoku for, strangely, Union not really doing much. I mean, Urgot is scaling up himself and didn't even really tickle him during that entire altercation. It felt like Kennen probably could have gotten out of there. Instead, just gonna hand over a kill. And all this, that you see that further Baron control in favor of Sengoku. I imagine they're gonna pull the trigger here rather shortly, or maybe just wait for Caitlyn to get her third item. And now she has a QSS and will just be able to get rid of the Frozen Tomb. And Urgot just taking the game into his own hands. Ison getting very low. No target's going to be able to deal with this. Oh, and actually the Caitlyn ultimate going to take Kazakhs out on the back end. So that jungler is dead. It's likely, oh, he's getting the replay on the Kennen. So does flash dodge. Union, you could just keep running. Maybe stun up Rhea here. Okay, finally uses the ultimate. Stun. Now trying to make a run for it. Tries to dodge out, but Rhea's just going to take you down. And the effectiveness of this Caitlyn, not really... I mean, the Kennen really not coming through. Had a CS advantage in lane, but really falling apart. Axiz not being proactive. A lot of their champions more mid-game oriented and really falling off. Kennen's not doing a lot of damage anymore. Kazakhs can pick a squishy target very easily, but if you're trying to fight Urgot, that is not happening. You are not getting anything done here. Got an Infinity Edge completed for Caitlyn, so that's 3 items. I'm hoping that they maybe try and fight it out here next. Got an Infernal Drake in the next 30 seconds. Maybe while the Dragon's going on, Axiz can finally make a play here, but Axiz not pushing the game forward, just legitimately handing it over to Sengoku Gaming. But what can Axiz do now? It's really does feel like the game is just slipping out of their control. All they can do is really find and pick a target, maybe take out the jungler. Smile has his eyes onto Kazakhs. See some pings going out onto the dragon. Urgot's taking care of it himself. No one can fight him right now. Might as well keep the jungler on the top side. Keep your jungler in vision. Trick the enemy team. Make them think you're not getting dragon. Oh, it says Infernal, but it's Cloud. Well, isn't that sad? No, I mean, Cloud's fine. I like the live graphic changing. That's nice. Someone's asleep at the wheel. I can't blame him. Oh, but Ison gets caught out, and Caitlyn's gonna pick that kill up oh so easily. Ison, you're just being a tad too aggressive, man. It looks like you're trying to carry this game, but the rest of your team is misinformed, and you are overextending considerably. You are just getting yourself caught out. I'm sure you are. The pressure's on you right now with the kills that you have, but you are overstepping your bounds. Kennen's gonna get forced away from this turret. Demolisher's gonna help Urgot take that turret out. Gonna wait for another wave, and now we see the pressure going out onto Axiz as Sengoku starts turret diving. Axiz is falling apart. Maybe they already resigned themselves to the next game here, or like thinking, I mean, looked like they were gonna win here for quite a while. They had the control and just gave resources over left and right. Giving Caitlyn Morgana, having that lane advantage, really helping out. It looks like Caitlyn, who's not a very popular AD carry right now, could just be that comfort champion for O2G, which is something to pay attention to. But if Noah and Fenton not really pulling it out on there, and so many players think they can just dodge the Morgana Q, but that's clearly not happening in this game. Maybe Reyna is a legendary Morgana player, but I just cannot say one way or the other. You do not want them to have these champions, though, if that is the case, because it is doing a lot of work, and you need a better answer instead of the Kennen. Maybe just something else to deal with the Urgot here. Not a fan of what is going on here so far. But this game continuing to drag on past the 30-minute mark. doesn't seem like any team really wants to go for Baron right now. I'm hoping that somebody makes the call, forces a fight, because we haven't really had a big old team fight yet. It's been a very slow game right now. Reyna moving up a bit far. Thinton getting caught out. Gonna stop that engagement. Cleanse out of that situation right away. Rest of Axiz shift on in, but nothing more happening right now. Smile up a bit far. Looks like we might be edging into team fight, but Sengoku just going to force their way and push everybody off. We have that second Zeal item started for Caitlyn, so working towards rapid fire cannon most likely. Once that's complete, I just have no idea how Axes are going to get on any target. I mean, with the QSS, Lysandra is no longer effective. Black Shield onto Caitlyn. Caitlyn's going to just stay alive indefinitely through these engagements and going to just slowly shred across everyone. Smile and Urgot, I mean, Gragas and Urgot going to easily be able to fend off the rest of the enemy here. And Axis need to, I think, go back to the drawing board. If they're going to pick these mid-game champions, need to be more proactive with their turret dives. Pull Kennen down much earlier on. Attack the bottom lane a bit more. Try and go after one of those targets. Get themselves an advantage in that way. Or aim for the Syndra. Aim for the Urgot. Try and slow them down from scaling up. This Kennen, though, just losing all kinds of effectiveness for himself. I just don't know what Union's champion pool is. I feel like if they had something maybe like a Scion to help engage, maybe even a, I don't know if a Galio topside is very relevant right now. I would think just a Scion, just kind of force your way down, still have that engage, that CC, punch through. Like you can't stop that with any of the ultimates on the side of Sengoku. Once Scion's in there, you can slow him down, but Scion running down the lane, go ahead and take care of that. So see some pings going out from Sengoku. Are they finally pulling the trigger? They're going to have to go and answer Urgot, send some members over there, but I think Axe is finally realizing, we have not seen the members of Sengoku, and a lot of damage coming out of Thinton. Holy cow, that Caitlyn hurts. And Kennen, he has no way to stop the Urgot. He has a Guardian Angel. If Union goes in there, he's just going to die to that Urgot. Urgot forcing another member of Axis to come over. Sengoku, you got to pull the trigger onto this Baron pit. I know you just want to kill stuff. We see the claw moving forward. We see a Frozen Tomb going out onto the wrong target here. Caitlyn's still alive, going to get locked up again. Incen trying to get on the Caitlyn, but Caitlyn survives. Kha'Zix's dead. Kennen still chasing down after Caitlyn. Caitlyn finally falling in the fight. Urgot and Syndra only members alive of Sengoku. So fight actually going in favor of Axis, but we have Urgot picking up the kills onto Rakan and Ezreal. Urgot making a lot of work of Axis. And now there's only one member left of Lysandra. They are on the hunt trying to find Gariaru. And all that chase is going on. Taka trying to track Lysandra down, just forcing the run down. Gariaru does not have much mana left. I don't know if he has enough to even try and run away. And that is going to be an ace going out on Axes. I thought they had that fight. It was such a back and forth situation there. I don't know if they have enough time to close the game. We've got Rakan and Kazakhstan respawning here just in a moment, but they were able to get an inhibitor, and their inhibitor taken down on bottom side. This is going to be an easy setup for them to take Baron. But instead, we see some pings going out onto the Elder Drake. See how that fight shifts out again. So sees Caitlyn move up a bit far forward. We see a Frozen Tomb. I think it was, out onto the Gragas initially. And we see all this engagement trying to get the Caitlyn, just cannot get her. Still surviving, getting the damage out, and actually falls early. So once the Caitlyn was out, I thought this was going to be end for Sengoku, but the Urgot still so relevant in this fight. No target on Axe is able to deal with that, and Kha'Zix getting caught out again, and that's going to be a dead Kha'Zix. And that's probably going to be a free Elder Drake. We see Caitlyn onto the Rakan. That's going to be like a few shots. Rakan trying to do his best to run away. And Caitlyn just on the hunt, not going to get it just yet. Ooh, Rakan able to jump away, get the shield for himself. But we have the rest of the members of Sengoku on that Elder Drake. And once that is locked in, they may just try and force the game out or walk on over to Baron and pick that up for themselves. This Urgot just so explosive. You understand why he was first picked from Sengoku. And the Kalen Morgana really messing with Ezreal. I don't want to say that this is a great counter pick. I just don't think Noah and Thinton really played the lane that well, getting caught out by the Morgana and Caitlyn quite too often, and Eason just overreaching far too much. I mean, it was just so typical of the Kazakhs. And I said it earlier on where I have not been really impressed with the Kazakhs in these games so far. He's been able to get these advantages, but it's just such high risk, high reward. These tankier junglers that can help support the team, and the carries proving to be far better in a lot of situations. And earlier on in the split, when there's not as maybe much cohesion between teams, there you can't really follow up. You can't see that Eason was trying to carry, trying to find advantages for himself, but the other team may have not been able to act on what he was doing, follow up with the advantages that he had gained, and not really spreading those advantages either, versus Sengoku, who just sort of played this calmer game, Smile really getting smacked in the jungle quite a bit, whenever they're lane not really losing, is slowly ebbing their time, making sure they're not bleeding anywhere in a significant way. And I mean, just scaling up, they knew how their champions worked. I mean, Urgot, who's going to kill him? We have Gariaru on the backside trying to find a target. You would expect that they got to fight. Gariaru actually getting caught out and going to get pinched now, has to be on the run, work his way back, just going to be trying to base, and that's 3 inhibitors down. This is a death sentence. They do have Baron, they have Elder Drake. These turrets are going to be falling down so quickly. That's just a few shots from the members of Sengoku. Is the fight finally coming in? Eason jumping in onto the Caitlyn, going to get blown up immediately. Kennen trying to go for Caitlyn on the backside. Now I'm going to get stunned up. Has QSS. Caitlyn blowing up targets. Syndra blowing up targets as well. Urgot chasing down, getting very low, but chasing Ezreal out of the fight. And Lissandra falling down. There's only one more member, Ezreal, out on his own, but instead of picking that kill up, they are just going to go for the inhibitor and grab that win for themselves. Ooh, so good game by Sengoku. Axiz, you got to go back to the drawing board, figure out what went wrong, why you sort of fizzled out in the mid game. Eason, you got to pull it back. You did a lot of good things there in the early game. You kept track of the enemy jungler. There was a lot of good vision coming out from Axiz throughout the early game, but there was nothing that pushed them towards the edge. They did not force any kind of confrontation, where Sengoku just sort of ebbed their time. They just slowly scaled up and found their way back in the game. But anyways, guys, thanks for listening. I'm not sure, it's kind of late here. I might do 1 or 2 more casts. I got a couple other things to work on, but thanks for listening. See how this LJL stuff works out. See how the storylines of these players develop. But anyways, thanks for listening, guys, and catch you later. Bye.